Hello, I'm Brian Hubbard.
And I'm Lynne McTaggart.
And we are What Doctors Don't Tell You. And another multimedia extravaganza, as per.
We're on Facebook, and we're on video webcast, and we're also on podcast.
We are indeed. And Facebook Livers, hello again.
Hiya.
And welcome. And special little news for the Facebook Livers, really, is, when you've got a title called What Doctors Don't Tell You, you're going to get a few bricks thrown your way, especially from men in white coats, which isn't really surprising, I suppose. And it's happened a few times in our history, and it happened again quite recently. And they're sort of quite keen to get us out of the stores, as they always are. And I think it's just worth saying a couple of things about it, if I may. The first is, despite the title, we're not really anti-doctor. We're anti the tools that they use, and I think which are rather limited in what they can do. And that they, their medical professions should be allowing them to look at alternatives to drugs. And, we feel very strongly about this. And the other thing is that all our work is based upon good, solid research that's carried out at the most august universities and centres such as Stanford and Yale and Harvard and Cambridge. And they're discovering the stuff that doctors are not practicing because they're probably not allowed to. And this is really what Doctors is about, is that gap between what is being researched and is being proven at prestigious centres and that which is being practiced by doctors on a day-to-day basis.
I mean, really, what we're looking at and we're critical of is the fact that medicine has really been hijacked by the pharmaceutical industry and other major interests. The pharmaceutical industry is, without a doubt, one of the most corrupt industries in the world, and it has hijacked medical schools. It's hijacked giant organizations like the National Health Service in the UK, and it certainly has hijacked the doctors. And so, as Brian says, it's not the carpenter, it's his tools that we're really going for. And we're actually using the tools of modern medicine in terms of the randomized double-blind placebo effect trial to examine medicine. We look at the medical literature. And essentially, if something is wanting in medicine, it's coming from their own sources, and that's what we're reporting. So all we're doing is making what is usually a private conversation public. But the other thing to talk about is there are so many alternatives out there that not only are effective, but have been proven to work. And we're also reporting on that too. It's probably worthwhile saying that the complaints that are heard or that are vocalized are from a few tiny individuals, a small group of skeptics who in the main have not read what we do, don't understand what we do, and are just simply against alternative medicine. Certainly, when we've looked on social media at the so-called doctors against us, they are people who, without a doubt, because they admit it, have not read the magazine, haven't looked at it. Many, many thousands of doctors are on our subscriber lists because they are part of the new movement interested in alternative and integrative medicine. So we're not speaking to the old guard, we're speaking to the new guard, and that includes the public too, who know that the tools of modern medicine are failing them, and they're looking for better alternatives, and that's where we come in.
Yeah, and a few fun facts to throw in there. In the UK, we spend about £110 billion a year on healthcare. I think in the US it's $3 trillion, $3 trillion. And another fun fact is that in the UK, and I think it's the same in the US, doctors get incentivized to prescribe drugs. And quite recently, a research team took a look at this and saying, well, that would suggest people are getting better, or are living longer, but actually the drugs are having zero effect. They're not living any longer, and we know from hospital admission rates that they are still ending up in hospital. So the drugs are ineffective, but the effect seems to be on the drug company's bottom line, which is prospering very nicely. And doctors are getting incentivized as well to prescribe these drugs. Yeah, and it's just plain wrong. And, you know, when you look at the fact that medicine is the third major cause of death in the West after heart disease and cancer, you know, I really do feel it's about time that as grown-ups, we all had a public discussion about this. Rather than just trying to ban us, why not have a debate about this and open up medicine and allow doctors to be true healers, which I believe they always wanted to be. And they're not allowed to be because their medical authorities make damn sure they don't. There really does need to be a public debate about this.
And the point is really that people are voting with their feet. You know, it's really exciting to recognize that the wellness industry is now 3 times the size of the pharmaceutical industry. People recognize that those tools of modern medicine, of conventional medicine, don't really work for chronic illnesses. So they're looking for alternatives. And because this stuff isn't really reported in the general press very much for many, many reasons, including vested interests, again, that's where we fill in the gap. So if you love us, go ahead and write to Whole Foods and tell them how much you love us. Tell your local supermarket where you buy us that you love us. And just let's keep this conversation going.
And if you are a doctor, how about buying a copy, reading it, rather than just trying to ban us? And let's try and move this debate on. I mean, it's in everyone's interest that we do so. So look, thank you, Facebook Livers. We'll say au revoir. Until next time, we'll carry on with our podcast. Bye-bye.